And hello, everybody. Welcome back to the iTunes Fanboy Podcast. And in this episode, I, alongside Alpha Day Wolf, am going to be just discussing the latest tech news that's been going on alongside some podcast news. Since yes, we're aware that it has been a while. Unfortunately, TabbyCat 406 is not here. Is not available today, and this is addressing a new policy. I know I promised that he would be in all hosts would be in every episode, but we've decided that in order to make production faster, that isn't possible. So as long as two of the people are available, then we'll be going, and two people are available right now for this recording. So Alpha and I are here, and of course we got a lot of tech news to discuss. And you guys probably already know this if you guys know any of my other social media, but I am using continuity camera to record with my iPhone 14 Pro, which I got. Yes, that's how long it's been that I was still. So last had a podcast where my 11 Pro Max was still my main phone.
Oh yeah, I suppose. Yeah, I typically have been using continuity camera, except at the moment I've been in the middle of some music production, so my monitors are currently at the keyboard, and I've got nowhere to put the camera. So I decided I'll just clear a little spot in my desk and use the MacBook's built-in stuff, because, well, the webcam might not be as good as continuity camera on certain areas, but at least the microphones are like miles better.
Yeah, my iPhone 14 Pro has some pretty good microphones, so I use it. And in my video about why Apple is headed in the wrong direction, I actually used continuity camera to record that one video directly to my computer. Now it was supposed to be better, however, it only lets you do 720p, so that's why I didn't continue recording that way.
Yeah, I've actually tried recording my last gadgets video using continuity camera in the reaction set, and I discovered I had it set to record at 1080p, but that is the worst 1080p footage I ever got.
Ooh.
It looked bad. It still looks bad, even on YouTube. So yeah, after that, I am not doing that again. I don't know if hardwire plugging it or something would improve it, because at the time I was doing it, I was using the wireless connection, but of course that goes through the Wi-Fi router, which, oh yeah, that's at the opposite end of the house. So
yeah. Yeah, and of course I am a little bit sick right now with some sort of cold.
Oh, you do not want to see my sister, believe me.
And my mom has COVID-19 right now.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, she tested positive today, so now I'm effectively quarantined to the half of my house where she is not in.
I guess you get a longer Christmas break per se.
Nope, you can't miss. Nope, I've already missed like 7.5 days of school this year, and this school year, so I can't, and you can't. Yeah, I can't unless I have COVID-19. Also, I don't go back until Wednesday, so.
Wow.
Yeah.
Lucky me. I used to never miss a day.
That's how often.
Yeah, I usually never miss a day of. I've never missed a day of school just because of being sick. I mean, the last time that's ever happened was like third grade of elementary school. I don't get sick often, and usually if I end up having to take a day off of school, it's because I got some vision appointment or dentist appointment, and then the occasional holy day of obligation at church. Yes, I leave school for that because, fellow Christians, it is important to go to church on those holy days. Sorry, I get a little nudgy about that, but yeah, that's how often I left school. Basically never.
Yeah, I have to. If I do leave school, it's usually because I'm sick. Because the first two times it was because I had two unbelievably gross colds, and there was another one where I had to attend school in December, and oh boy, I felt miserable then. I could bear, and I did so badly on one of my tests that test that I may be put in a special help group because of that. My score on
Oh,
that.
geez.
That's how badly I did on that test because I was sick.
Yikes.
Yeah, and the second time, and the third time I was absent for the next 3.5 days. One of those days was election day, but I had the flu, which was actually what delayed the episode that Elias was supposed to be on.
Mm.
Because I was
And then
sick.
it was totally canceled when the DC area lost all of their internet.
It was actually just no, the DC area didn't lose their internet. Tabby and Elias were just unavailable for other reasons.
Funny, because actually the following Monday I lost all internet.
Yeah. I haven't had too many internet outages lately, or if I have, they were while I was at school.
Yeah, didn't even have cell service. It was just gone. Even the fiber lines at the university were down. We were cut off from the rest of the globe.
Oh well. You know what else?
I hate where I live.
You know what else is being cut off from? You know what else isn't really getting to people? The iPhone 14 and the 14 Plus, because their sales are so low that Apple is even having to reconsider the iPhone lineup, 15 lineup.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of sucks for them because, first of all, it's not really a good time to be a buyer at this point because everything has gone way up in price, and unfortunately, we haven't been compensated in terms of payment. So, yeah, things are more expensive, and it is not a good time to be a buyer. And because it's not a good time to be a buyer, it is not a good time to be a seller because nobody's buying your stuff.
Yeah. My theory for this is that I have two theories for this. Number one, the iPhone 14 Pro, only the people who can afford the nicer phones like the 14 Pro and 14 Pro Max are the ones who can afford buying the phones right now. So that's how come their sales are higher. Number two, so many people upgraded to the iPhone. So many more average Joes upgraded to the iPhone 13 last year that people are still okay with their 13s and aren't looking to upgrade.
Number 3, the 14s aren't that much better than the 13s anyways.
Oh yeah. As a lot of people look at the compare charts on Apple's website, and if they see an A15 chip versus an A16 chip, won't it look a little more confusing to consumers? Because won't consumers think that the 14 and 14 Plus are somehow a year behind, and that's because they are? And of course,
well, if you're just looking at surface details, but yeah, still, the phones are just too freaking similar, and yet they've gone up in price. Okay, maybe the 14 and the 13, they're the exact same price, but if you're considering the starting line or the starting price for the cheapest new iPhone in the lineup, technically it increased in price.
Yeah, it did. It did, and it especially increased overseas outside the United States where we're based. But yeah, the iPhone 14 and 14 Plus, they're just not doing well. They don't make a lot of sense for people. And even one of my friends at school doesn't understand why the iPhone 14 exists. He gets why the 14 Plus exists, and I do too, because, quite frankly, the bigger screen of the 14 Plus, that sort of makes sense. I mean, it's $200 cheaper than the 14 Pro Max, so I still think
But the problem is they just didn't price it right.
Plus might have...
It's too high.
I think the 14 Plus might still have a shot like the iPhone XR. Didn't really sell well in the fall, but sold a lot better in 2019 and was the best-selling smartphone of that year because a lot more average consumers were upgrading their phones at that time a year. Though I still don't think the 14 and 14 Plus are exactly selling too great anyway. And so
the second when I knew they were basically not going to be that much different from the 13s, and the second when I saw the prices, I'm like, oh crap, yeah, these are screwed. Nobody's going to get them. Not even average Joes. Because, I mean, I even knew from the year before, many people have already upgraded their phones. So,
and the average Joe also and most people think that iPhones are overpriced, like average consumers.
Yeah, I mean, overpriced is kind of too unfair, but it's not a bad way to describe the regular 14s. I personally think they could be a little lower than what they're currently at.
Yeah, it's a bit much. Now all they need in order to boost sales is all they need is the A16 chip. They could even have it clocked to the same speeds of the 13 Pro Max's A15 chip. Just call it the A16 chip for goodness sake. Then give the
I mean,
Fortune
they had
Pro
no
the
issue.
A16X chip, maybe.
If I recall, didn't the Apple Watch get what was it? Oh yeah, from Series 6 to Series 7, there was supposedly going to be a new chip design, except it really is just an S6 chip with S7 written in Sharpie on it or something.
And the same thing with the S8 chip.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
So
why
they've done
doesn't
it
Apple
before.
just
Why didn't
follow?
they do it again?
So why doesn't Apple just follow the same technique with their phones?
And why not introduce? Okay, if you have to differentiate them, why not do like A16, A16 Pro?
No, I think they would probably do. I think they did. Apple, please just do A16X if you're gonna do that kind of stuff, or just clock the A16 differently.
Yeah, let's just say Apple really screwed themselves in terms of the regular regular lineup this year. The pros, I mean, I don't know how
They're
well they're
barely in
doing.
stock.
Yeah, okay, I've heard that they're really difficult to get your hands on, but I think that's because the normal lineup is just so disappointing this year that basically everyone who's able to stretch their dollar is stretching their dollar for the pros.
Yeah, and even one of my other friends at school who got 14 Pro Max for Christmas, he has to wait until like in January to get in the mail because of how backed up they are.
I'm glad I'm not in their shoes because, whew, personally, I think this is a way better looking phone than that 14. All because of what's up front.
I think the dynamic island it actually doesn't. It actually looks better though. I actually think the eye hole looks better than the dynamic island.
My aunt just got a 14 Pro Max for work, and I'm sorry, I can't look at it without.
But what if you get? But
It's
what
like
if you get a
Tailosive
good?
Tech and the iMac. Ever since that the iMac got redesigned, Tailosive Tech basically hates it the more and more he looks at it. It's the same case with me. I keep looking at the 14 Pro's camera pill thing, and I just grow to hate it more and more.
Yeah. However, what happens if you buy an iPhone 15 Ultra and if it has USB-C, then you're gonna have to get used to the dynamic island, just like with the camera bump. And the same thing goes for if you buy a Pixel, because the iPhone 15 doesn't get USB-C. The Pixel still has a
Yeah.
hole punch.
Yeah. Oh, come on, Apple. Just add USB-C. I really, really do not want a Pixel.
Well, Tabby Pears is going to be buying a Pixel watch sometime next year.
Oh, gosh.
He says he wants a backup watch for. He wants a backup watch, so that's why he's getting the Pixel watch. It'll be interesting to see his review on that.
I don't know why, but I have a feeling it's not going to be pretty good because a lot of people are very disappointed in it.
Yeah, he's either going to love it or hate it. I know, but again, I'm not Tabby, so I can't speak for him.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, there. The next piece of news is that there's an iPad Mini 7 coming in the second half of 2023 or the first half of 2024, with the new chip being its main feature.
What does the iPad Mini currently have?
The A15.
So I guess it could get the A16,
Or the
perhaps.
A17.
When's the predicted release date?
late 2023 or early 2024.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I could have the A17 actually.
Yeah, which makes me very excited. Eh, Which makes me pretty excited because I like the iPad Mini. However, I don't know why I want this so badly, but I want a Magic Keyboard like this one on my iPad Air 5, which I got for Christmas. By the way, where can you guys see that? There we go. I want this kind of keyboard for the iPad Mini.
I think the problem is due to the design, it's just too small to the point where you're really cramming
Yeah,
keys.
I know it's gonna be like a netbook keyboard, but it'll still be cool at least, and then they can, or cool at least.
Yeah, personally, I've tried using keyboards with tablets before, and I just found that I'm only going to head straight back to the on-screen keyboard because then it's a separate keyboard that I gotta worry about and such. Sure, I could get in the folio form, but that's just more bulk and more bulk to deal with when I'm not using the keyboard.
Yeah, my iPad 7th generation, especially on my old. Hey, let me go grab it really quickly. Where is it?
Yeah, that and also, if I wanted a physical keyboard to use with my device, that's what a MacBook's for. That's just my opinion on the matter. If
Or
I
that's
don't
what a
need the physical
BlackBerry.
keyboard, use the tablet.
Or that's what a BlackBerry is for.
Oh, I would never use one of those again.
Well, I don't know. You might love a BlackBerry. Sam Time sure does.
I've tried one before, and let's just say that experience actually did not go very well.
I hate Blackberries too.
No.
Yeah. Yeah, we pointed out in one of our
So
last episodes
complicated.
how Blackberries are so outdated that even Sam Time, one of the biggest Blackberry fans, wasn't using them anymore, and so that and so I found it a little bit ridiculous when he went back. Yeah, but look how bulky this is on my old iPad 7th gen.
Yeah, that's. Whoa. Oh, yeah, that's a lot of extra thickness.
No wonder why my iPad 7th generation cracked, even though Apple should have tested that. Yeah, let me put this iPad back. But yeah, iPad keyboards on the Air 5 it's a lot less bulky, which I do like. And I do like the option of being able to type easily on a tablet interface with having a bit of a smaller form factor to type while still feeling good. On a keyboard it feels good, so that's why I choose to put keyboards on my iPads.
Yeah, for me, I'm actually very picky about keyboards, but not in the way that most people expect. Because, first of all, I hate mechanical keyboards. I fully hate them so much.
So do
I
I.
I
I've
don't
got one
understand
right
why
here.
people. Yeah, I don't understand what's so special about the insane levels of travel and the feel of the switch. I mean, to me, that's just slowing me down. I'm trying to type stuff, and often when I'm
Like
typing,
this is how
I'm writing
loud it is
scripts
to
or.
type on my Macintosh Plus keyboard, which I also got for Christmas.
Why does that appeal to people? I don't get it.
I personally like the feel of mechanical keyboards, but I still don't like them as much as I do MacBook keyboards.
Yeah, I genuinely hate mechanical keyboards, even their feel. It doesn't. You can even give me all the samples of cherry switch keyboards, all you want. I'm not going to like it. I hate mechanical keyboards because it's not the feel of the switch or the sound it makes that I care about. It's the travel. And that's the biggest problem that all mechanical keyboards have. They all have a ton of travel, and that's what slows me down.
Yeah, that's why so many people hate the feel of the butterfly keyboard.
Personally, I love the feels of the butterfly keyboard. I've tried how many? I've tried at least 3, and I've just enjoyed my experience with all butterfly keyboards.
However, their reliability is
That's the one thing
unfortunately.
about them that sucks. Yeah, that
Yeah,
sucks.
yeah.
But in
Miss
terms of
Tabby's
actual
been
typing
explaining to us all
experience,
the time.
yeah, but in terms of typing experience, oh, give me no travel even. Yeah, travel is my total enemy when it comes to typing.
Yeah. In fact, I kind of wish that on MacBook keyboards they could make them even haptic feedback.
Oh, that was a concept back in 2016 after they showed us the Touch Bar MacBook. Some people were theorizing that the Touch Bar is supposed to prep us for when they turn the whole keyboard into on-screen like iPhone 7 home button haptics and such, or the trackpad Force Touch trackpad haptics or such.
Yeah, I actually wish that the keyboard could even have an option for no feel, like you could just tap the keys, because even though it would be like tapping on an iPad keyboard, it would still be feel more roomy. It could actually feel quite great, and if you really wanted to, then you could turn on the haptic engine for to make it feel like there's travel. And with the
For
haptic
me,
engine, you can make it feel like a mechanical keyboard.
yeah, and actually it can be way easier to adjust as well. No need to actually go pull out every single key and swap the switch mechanism and such. No, just adjust the sensitivity of your haptics. Like
Apple, Apple, if you're watching this podcast right now or listening to this podcast, please make this a reality.
this is why I'm so mad they got rid of the touch bar.
Just like, so am I. Just like with the $99 Apple Watch concept that Tabby came up with, that uses an ink display instead.
Yeah, this would be so cool. And that would just add way more to the practicality, to the point where I don't need to bring a mouse anymore. I almost lost it on my trip down to Wisconsin a couple days ago.
Luckily, I have my mouse with me because
Yeah,
I barely use my mouse, so I keep it in storage.
Yeah, mine's not cheap because it cost $100.
Yeah, this mouse isn't cheap either. It cost me $80.
So what about that Magic Mouse that you unboxed?
That's
Oh wait,
my dad.
that's your
That's
dad's.
my dad's, not mine.
Yeah, still best mouse ever made.
I agree.
So how does he like using a Mac and a Magic Mouse and such?
He actually hasn't gotten his set up yet. He says he's gonna set it up tonight.
Hmm.
Yeah, he hasn't even set up his Mac. Yeah, but he does. But my dad is actually going to be upgrading to the iPhone 14 or for one of the iPhone 14s.
Don't tell me. Don't tell me. His charge port died again.
No, no, it did not.
Oh, come on.
It did not. Guess what? Guess why my dad's upgrading?
What do you do this time?
He's whining about how the iPhone 13 Pro's camera just isn't good enough because it isn't great at focusing at taking photos of people from far away distances. And I'm like, haven't you ever heard of something called a front camera? You don't need to configure that. Or just holding the phone closer to you. Like, haven't you even thought of that? Has my dad ever thought of that? And he also hates how come compared to Samsung phones, he can't really get good shots of the moon with his phone, with his iPhone. Yeah, I'm like, no. And that is genuine. And I understand some people care about that though. If he really wants to, then he can just buy an external telescope.
Well, here's another thing too. Most of those pictures where they're getting shots of the moon, they're using AI just to form the moon itself. So it's not even a real image of the moon that's captured.
Oh, that's a good one. That actually makes sense, especially. Yeah, it makes valid sense.
Yeah, so I'm a bit confused on that because the phones that supposedly can do it, they're not actually doing it. They're just using AI and Googling pictures of the moon and swapping it to make that supposed picture of the moon look better.
Yeah, that's actually I should tell my dad that because he'll find that quite useful.
Hmm.
All right. Well, what did you get
So
for
what are the
Christmas?
chances that charge port? So what are the chances that charge port is going to die before he gets the 14 Pro?
Let me see. Okay, so it took him 2 years to break the charge port on his iPhone 11 Pro Max. On his old 8 Plus, the charging port didn't die, though it did die of water damage after a year and a, though it did break temporarily due to water damage after a year and a half. On his 6 Plus, it again took about 2.5 years for his charging port to die on that. With his second Fire phone, the charging port didn't die on that. He traded that in. With his first Fire phone, it only took a few months to kill the charging port on that. And luckily on his previous iPhone 5 and his previous 4S, he didn't kill the charging ports. And I don't know about his previous old school phones before then. So he probably won't kill it.
Mm.
Though I just want to inform you guys that I'm not entirely sure if I'll be getting my dad's 13 Pro or not because once he upgrades, because he's a lot more skeptical about handing down his old phones to me than my mom is.
Well, I would think it'd just be as easy as a factory reset and boom, it's all.
He it's not that he's worried about. He's worried about he's mainly concerned about money, like how much he can sell his phones for.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, so if he does sell his 13 Pro, then that probably means that gold iPhone 13 Pro box that you see right there is probably going to be leaving my box tower.
Mm.
Now, I'm sure it won't be long before, though, look, his new phone's box will probably replace that. And he even managed to break the charging port on his old Acer Predator laptop that he's been using now for 3 years. So he had to switch to his Lenovo that he's had for a year that he just hasn't touched yet in November. And obviously now he's got his MacBook, M1 MacBook Air.
I really hope he does not kill the charge port on that.
Well, there's multiple, so there's multiple.
Yeah, there is a
charging ports for him
benefit.
to
He's got
kill.
multiple. Yeah, so he's got 2 tries. He's got 2 chances. Don't blow him.
Yeah, he even managed to kill the charging port on his iPad. iPad Pro for 2015 iPad Pro. We're not sure why his Kindle Fire stopped working. His old Kindle Fire stopped working. That's probably because they're lower quality. And yeah.
Yeah, most likely.
Yeah, my dad somehow managed to kill the charging ports on everything he owns. Including that one time where... And don't forget about that one charging incident back in August or September 2014 when my dad's Sony Vio laptop, his charger for that, caught on fire.
Oh,
Because he left it plugged in without the actual laptop, so that caused a fire.
Yeah, that's not good charger design.
Yeah, I talked to Tabby about it, and he said that could have just been due to Sony making weird stuff at that point, and of course, my dad says they wasn't even sure that it was a charger that caused it, though my mom thinks that
Could have been a power surge.
Yeah, it could have been that because our outlets at that point were very old, and we didn't get new outlets for the most part until 2 years ago.
Yeah, I keep looking around my room and, jeez, why are there so many outlets in here?
I
gotta do a count.
There's only There's only 2 outlets in my bedroom.
I got 8.
There's two pairs. There's two places for outlets in my bedroom. One is behind my cabinet, and the other one is over there by my TV, which I got back in October.
I got 8 outlets
for this Christmas.
I got a total of 8 outlets. 3 on the north and south walls, and then 1 on the east and west walls. That's 16 plugs. Why do I have this much power available up here? And this was a storage room.
I have 4 plugs in comparison, and yet this is a bedroom.
Oh my goodness. What was the builder of this house thinking? There's a 240 volt in the garage. There's 8 outlets in a storage room above it. What did he build this house for? Jeez.
I don't know.
All right, should we move on to the next topic?
I don't have any more topics planned.
Oh.
Yeah, we ran out.
That was quick.
Or I guess there is one more topic that we could address, which is that the iPhone SE4 is canceled.
Oh.
Because of the
Youch.
lower-end iPhone sales not being good.
I mean, hey, if Apple wants to recoup their losses, that would actually be a good way to do it, I would think.
Or it's delayed indefinitely or canceled.
Yeah, that sucks. Yeah, the SE4 is what the SE3 should have been.
Because the cost would be too high for it to make it all screen.
Yeah.
And because the lower end iPhones weren't selling well, so Apple decided, nope, no SE4.
Well, was it going to be OLED or were they going to use LCD?
I assume they were going to use LCD. No one actually knows.
Yeah, because I was just going to say, like, just make the iPhone XR. How long ago did they shut down the assembly lines for the XR?
September 2021.
They could have replaced them at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sucks for those who like the iPhone SE, especially when this is the state of an economy we're living in at the moment.
Oh well. A lot of the people that I know that a lot of the more middle class people that I know don't really care about their phones. They're just sticking with their older ones.
Yeah, honestly, I'm kind of starting to regret one of my purchases.
What purchase? Oh no. Don't tell me that you wanted to stick with your iPhone XS Max.
I do, though!
Don't tell Tabby Pears that.
I know, he'd be royally upset with me, but...
I am a bit royally upset with you too, because the 10S at this point is so irrelevant. It's 4 years old, almost 5.
But it's so good!
No, it's
perfect! There has never been a design better than this!
I know the iPhone
3D
10
touch?
I know the iPhone 10 and 10s have the best design. Believe me, this was another one of my Christmas presents, a 10.
Yeah, I know. 3D touch? I missed it so much!
Actually, now that I have a 10 with 3D touch, oh man, let me tell you, it's amazing.
I know! Why did they get rid of it? And even on the Pro phones. Who cares? It's for the Pro market. The Pro market is going to pay whatever the Apple charges for it. So why did they get rid of it?
Would you pay $4,000 for a Pro iPhone if it had 3D touch?
Okay, 3D Touch doesn't cost that much, but still, if they had to increase the price just to keep 3D Touch, do it. We're pro users. We're willing to pay pro money for pro stuff.
Even iClassic reminisces about the iPhone, about 3D Touch.
I even miss the notch.
I don't.
The old notch.
I'm glad it's gone.
I mean, yeah, the frame rate, I can notice it a bit, but the more I use it, the less I notice the 60 hertz and such. It just... I miss this phone so much.
But you have it!
I know, I do, but I can't put my SIM card in it until I pay off this stupid thing.
Believe me, once you get the iPhone 15 with USB-C, then you're gonna forget all about the iPhone 10s Max, and more importantly, or if you get your Pixel, then you're gonna. Actually, if you get your Pixel, then you'll probably miss your iPhone 10s Max even more.
Oh, I'll miss it way more. Yeah.
If you get your Pixel. Are you going to wait for the Pixel 8 to come out, or are you just going to get the Pixel 7?
I don't know. I'll have to wait and see what happens. I'll make that decision when the iPhone 15 comes out.
Google needs to seriously reconsider their phone designs because, oh my gosh, is the Pixel 7 so ugly. And it was barely even an upgrade.
Yeah, personally, I like the visor, but I just wish they didn't get rid of the whole black glass covering on the Pixel 6. Instead, they had to do what they do best, like the rest of the Android community, and, oh, look, here's what Apple's doing. Let's do literally the exact same thing.
What did Google do to copy Apple?
The pill. And the eye hole thing.
Actually, they didn't technically copy Apple because Apple never released the eye hole.
Okay, well, the Pixel 7 still has the pill.
Yeah, that's true. Well, what can we say? Google's a bad phone manufacturer.
Well, from the sounds of it, they finally actually made a decent phone. I mean, I was going to say the Pixel 6 was a decent phone. Hardware-wise, okay, aside from, Tensor was less powerful than my XS Max. Hardware-wise, it was actually a decent, compelling option, but it had so many software bugs that just ruined the experience. But from what a lot of Android enthusiasts have been saying, Pixel 7 has really... You couldn't guess that the Pixel 7 and the Pixel 3 were related. Pixel 3 has to be the worst Pixel they've ever made.
Oh my gosh, yes, that is so ugly. And yet Tylos of Tech called it the best Pixel ever made.
Which one, the 7?
The Pixel 3.
Oh, that's a joke. We all know that.
No, he actually said... I remember back when the Pixel 3 got discontinued and he made a video that said Google quit making their best phone.
No, that was the 3A.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was the 3A.
I'm guessing he hated the Pixel 3.
He lived with it for a month.
Oh, jeez, I haven't really been paying consistent attention to Tylos of Tech for that long.
Yeah, I've started watching him since the iPhone 10 days, so that was like 5 years ago or something. But yeah, he lived with the Pixel 3 for a month. Another YouTube channel challenged him into using it for a month. And he did it, and boy, did he have the rant video to follow that.
Just like how you challenged me to live with Android for a week if I got to 300 subscribers before Thanksgiving in 2021.
Yeah. Oh, jeez. But yeah, he switched to a Pixel 3 for a month, and let's just say, not fun.
I'm just curious, would you still be interested in if I did a video about switching to Android for a week or something?
I say we should probably do the challenge together. Just make it more interesting.
I'll be probably using my S10 Plus for the challenge because it's the best Android phone I've got.
I'm going to have to find a new Android phone because my S7. Oh crap!
You lost your S7, didn't you?
I left it back in Wisconsin.
You. No, you didn't.
I left it back in Wisconsin.
You didn't leave your S7 in Wisconsin unless you went.
I left my S7 in Wisconsin. I left it on the charger back at their house.
Okay, don't panic.
I'm not. I don't care about that thing. Oh my God. People keep asking me to remind them about stuff. I keep telling them stop. This is why.
My dad once left his iPhone charger when we traveled up to a state that I'm not going to say where because I don't really want you guys knowing where we went. But
Yeah.
my dad left his
Oh my
charger
God.
there, and my grandmother left her fan there, and it stayed there for nearly 2 years.
I am
until
such an
she got
idiot.
back.
Oh well, I don't need that thing anyways. I don't use it. I
That's
basically
why I don't
only
bring
use
any
it
of
as
my
a
collection
prop.
devices with me on trips most of the time.
I brought it because I wanted to test out Android Auto. Because my grandparents just got a new truck, which as soon as I have the perseverance to actually go through and edit that video, that'll go up on the Drive channel at some point. But
Hey, what's
Yeah,
the
but-
progress? What's the progress of your dash cam video? Speaking of,
has yet to be filmed. Though I can give you guys a sneak peek. In terms of camera quality, that is the worst 1080p camera I have ever seen on the face of the planet. Even worse than continuity camera.
oh jeez. Okay, maybe.
Yeah, I think I have it right. It's on the desk. Oh yeah, right. This thing right here. I haven't mounted it in my car yet, so I do have to test it out, but I did do some quick camera quality tests. Here's the dash cam itself.
Oh jeez, that's like a Five Below. That reminds me of something you'd buy at Five Below.
Yeah, apparently this is Walmart's Drive On brand or something.
It's their on brand.
Yeah, so I have to say this is the worst quality of camera I've ever seen. The build is terrible. The actual video that it films is absolutely garbage, but
Do you think you'll actually invest in a good dash cam sometime?
yeah, it's called a Tesla.
I meant a good dash cam for Red Fox.
I don't know. It's because I am doing everything in my power to get rid of that car. I am so tired of
Or what about
driving it.
Or do you ever think you want to try to add CarPlay to Red Fox?
I've thought about it before, but again, that would set me back in terms of the Tesla purchase. So maybe I'd do it after I get the Tesla.
That's valid. I just heard a firecracker outside.
That could be my chair.
No, it was
My chair makes weird noises.
No, but it was a firecracker outside. I could hear it, and I heard a shotgun earlier today.
Ooh.
Yeah. So I'm not surprised
Yikes.
that I heard this firecracker in the...
Yeah, but this is one of the worst built dash cams. Well, this is the only dash cam I've seen, but this thing is just built so poorly. It's made out of the cheapest plastic ever. To my surprise, it has a microphone and a speaker, both of which are absolute crap. And the way it has a battery in it too, that lasts 4 minutes.
Oh, jeez. I think even Amazon can make a better dash cam.
Well, also I also found that it's not usually the best idea to invest in higher end dash cams because the truth is, all of the actual the processing chip and the camera sensors themselves, they all got the same crap, and they're not good. You can spend $1,000 on a dash cam, you get basically the same thing, unless that $1,000 dash cam is one of these. So if I actually wanted a better dash cam, I'd probably be better off just getting a GoPro.
That is true. Or you
Even
could
the
just
micro
or
SD
you
card
could just
just
buy a
doesn't
new
want
car
to
that
pop
has
out.
a built-in dash cam.
Yeah, that would be Tesla. One of the best decisions ever made by a car company. I am still trying to figure out why others haven't gotten to doing the same thing.
Yes, and you're talking about the charging.
Oh, well, I got my own rants on that. But no, I was actually referring to other automakers, not all these other automakers with that 360 view when you put the car in reverse.
Oh yeah.
They can use those cameras for other things too, but the only thing they're being used for at the moment is just for that 360 view. You can
I
use
know,
them for other things like Tesla Sentry Cam or Dash Cam.
like even my dad's 2014 Mercedes Benz has cameras that he could use that it could be used for other stuff.
I know. Why haven't they done this? Why is Tesla the only one that's done this? I mean, Rivian has actually copied the Sentry mode idea, but I don't know if they have a dash cam functionality. And from the research I'm looking at, they don't do it. But still, there's more uses for these cameras, and Tesla clearly is taking advantage of them.
Well, maybe automakers just need to learn a lesson or two about copying Tesla, or maybe it's just Tesla's turn to shine.
Yeah. Oh, they've been really shining this past holiday week. Let's just say. Uh, all those tweets I've been paying attention to.
And yet, all my classmates, they do not like Teslas at all. And quite frankly, my family members, except for my dad, aren't really big fans of Tesla either.
What are your thoughts on Tesla?
I think they're great.
So far, they are the best electric cars out there. And a lot of cases, it's not really many other automakers' faults. Because Hyundai Ioniq 5, Rivian R1T, they are great vehicles, except CCS.
Yep. The EV charging network, oh boy, it's pretty messed up. Hey,
Yeah, I've been paying attention to YouTube and Twitter. There's one group that I've been watching called Out of Spec. Before the main guy decided to go to Florida, where his dad has a condo that they all go to for Christmas. Before he went to Florida, he was testing out doing a cold weather charging test because, in case anybody didn't know this, but the nation basically has gone through a bit of a deep freeze.
oh yeah,
Freeze.
even where I live, it got pretty cold.
Yeah,
It was minus 1 degree. It was minus. I think it was.
Florida even got
-5
cold.
degrees.
We might have an orange shortage because I heard Florida even got cold. They got below freezing.
Yeah, and that of course involves lemons and limes too, but
Hey, editor Alpha DeWolf here. Yeah, we said some stuff, and you guys are not allowed to hear this stuff. And this right here is where the stuff used to be. Alright, now that stuff has been said, back to the show.
But yeah, anywho, he was going to prepare a deep freeze charging test because I don't know if you know this, but batteries do not like to charge when they are cold.
they do not.
They do not. And he pulled up at the Electrify America station, and EA's brand new, only a couple month old charging stations that were just put in, latest design, latest technologies, everything, failed. They did not work.
Aren't they powered by Windows?
Yeah, that's the software. Though actually, no, it was a hardware problem that was preventing the stations from working. Software was all ready to go. It's just there was a hardware problem.
Oh, jeez. Yeah. What makes me even more irritated is that you mentioned this on your Twitter, but the U.S. government is planning on installing a network of 500,000 charging stations for electric cars. And of course, that makes me wonder if they're going to use Electrify America-like stations.
Probably are, meaning they're going to just install more crap. And I've actually left a comment on another video recently, but let me continue the story. So, during the deep freeze, EA's brand new hardware failed. Upright. Every single stall at the one station in Loveland, Colorado. He then took an hour trip to Denver, where there's a couple more of these sites, and you guessed it, the same type of stalls broke. They did not work.
They should prepare for that, because in Colorado it gets really cold.
Yeah, they did not test. They did not, whoever manufactured them, because, okay, EA designed them, but a different company actually did the manufacturing. Who was it? BTC. BTC, the manufacturer. They did not cold weather test them, and it showed. Yeah, and so after that, he then went to Florida with his dad because they have a condo in Marco Island. And, what's going on? Oh, yeah. The EA site there, when they arrived in Florida, only one of the 4 chargers, which, seriously, why are there only 4 chargers at EA sites? That's not enough. One of the 4 was working, so the other 3 were down. The next day, they put another one back online, but the problem was they mislabeled it, so nobody could figure out how to activate it. And then basically all the other chargers. Yeah, it's a nightmare. And what do all of these stations have in common? CCS. And the most hilarious thing is his dad brought his Tesla down to Florida, and during his road trip, his theme was he brought a button. You know those buttons you can buy and program them to say something when you push it?
Yeah.
He programmed his to say, "That was easy." Every time he stopped at a supercharging station, because of course it's a Tesla, he basically stopped, plugged in, and pushed the button. That was easy. Oh my goodness, this infrastructure is driving me nuts. I know this is a tech podcast, not an EV podcast, but this angers me so much.
That's okay. We'd go dive into a lot of miscellaneous topics on this on TIFP.
Oh yeah, this is just, it's frustrating. And this isn't even just an issue with Electrify America. This is almost every other charging brand out there. EVgo has these same issues. They were talking about a new charging company that's actually based in Canada. They have a brand new site down in Florida. Doesn't work.
Oh, jeez.
Meanwhile, Tesla owners, you guys having charging problems? Well, sucks to be you, because we got clearly the better network.
They clearly do.
I know. So, finally, after the Christmas weekend, the guy headed back to Colorado to film one last video summing up all the charging issues that have happened over Christmas week. And I basically left a comment. I'm going to see. Can I pull up this comment? Because I want to quote myself here. Let me see. I need to go to YouTube's homepage. Out of spec reviews. I'll put it in the queue because I don't want to watch the video. Is my comment the first? Yes, right here. All right, so here is my exact comment, word for word, on this video. What a shame. Considering this has gotten to the point where CCS and CHAdeMO EV owners are selling their cars and either going to Tesla or, the worst option in my opinion, back to gas. That's actually going on. I've been trying not to make another video about how truly terrible and undependable the CCS infrastructure really is, and as I just finished watching this video, I've got pages open with a full script ready to go. At this point, I'm genuinely terrified about America's future for mobility. If governments are planning to ban the sale of new gas cars, a move which I highly disagree with,
Canada's
and either
going to do that by 2026.
Yeah, that's really going to suck. So if governments are planning to ban the sale of new gas cars and either EA, EVgo alongside with Signet, BTC, and ABB, if they can't get their certain word figured out, or if no EV maker is willing to cast aside their pride and use the NACS standards so they can use Tesla's clearly superior infrastructure, as much as some Tesla owners may despise and not want to share, then our ability to travel is about to become royally screwed. If nothing were to change before this stupid decision to ban a method of transportation that has certainly served us well for over a century, if these take into effect, then Tesla, maybe Aptera if they survive and eventually become... I do not English well. Then Tesla, and maybe Aptera if they survive, will eventually become a monopoly in the non-commercial automotive space. Tesla will have an influx of demand they've never seen before, and we all thought the past couple of years of insane demand were bad enough, which will cause them to raise prices we certainly hope to never see, all because other EV makers and charge point manufacturers and operators can't get their crap together. I hate how non-Teslas are great products, but are constantly being screwed over by a core and fundamental piece that sets EVs apart. I'm pretty sure that we all can agree that this is not the future we want. This is not a future that we deserve. Sorry everyone, playtime is over. The transition has finally begun, whether we want it to or not. So drop the bull crap and bring us out of this non-Tesla pit of despair. And because I'm also someone who is trying to push everyone to use the NACS standard because it's clearly better than CCS, I have to end on this one final note. # no NACS, no sale.
No, jeez.
Doesn't that concern you though?
Yeah, it does.
This is if nothing were to change. This is scary. So, if nobody can figure out why I am this upset, it's not first of all, I'm trying to save for a Tesla, so it's not because I want a CCS car. Well, I would like a Rivian at some point, but that's not high priority. A Tesla's a way higher priority because I don't need a truck. It's not because I want a CCS car. It's because I'm tired of people who do own these cars. I'm tired of them being screwed over. This has gotten to the point where they're actually selling their cars now. It's bad.
It really
I just don't know how else to put it. So, yeah, there's my rant about the charging infrastructure. I really hope it gets better, but, well, if it doesn't get better, then yeah, we're basically screwed. All right, well, there's my rant and such. I guess one topic that you were trying to get into, but I cut us off for some reason. Christmas presents. You wanted to discuss those?
Oh yeah, so what'd you get for Christmas, by the way?
I gotta think real quick. I got a beer mug for having root beer the proper way. The proper way of drinking root beer, which is one of my favorite drinks, is you take the mug and you actually freeze it. Get it all frosty. Then you pour the warm root beer into that mug. And then the mug cools it. That is the proper way of drinking root beer. So I got a beer mug for Christmas so I can drink it properly. And, wow, it actually is the proper way to drink it. I will agree. So there's that. I got a new white sweatshirt because my old one was falling apart.
Yeah, apparently those are impossible
And
to find.
yeah, they are not easy to find. So, thanks, Mom and Dad, for spending the time hunting down Amazon to find these things, because, oh, it is not easy to find. Um, a new pair of boots, and a $15 Apple card. Or Apple gift card.
Alright, this is what I got for Christmas. And a Blueberry iBook clamshell, which runs macOS 9.
You got another one?
Yeah, apparently Santa Claus thought I needed another one.
Interesting.
I got the iMac
Okay.
G3 that you see up there. That runs macOS
Oh, that's so cool.
8.6. It's the
That's
mid-1999
orange, right?
model.
Mm.
I got my Macintosh Plus, which I can actually show if I take my camera off the tripod right here.
Oh, it's even got the classic Apple mouse and the keyboard.
Yep.
Well,
I have the
minus
classic
some
Apple mouse
keys.
and keyboard. I have the mouse for my iMac G3 right here. It's not an original one, but it was made to go with a green iMac G3.
Hmm.
Hi guys. And for computers, I actually haven't shown these yet. On camera. Not I showed my clamshell, but new clamshell. But I also got another for my mom. I got another late 2006 black MacBook because my previous black MacBook broke.
Oh, crap. So you got a second one to replace it.
Yeah, even though I'll still be keeping my other black book around because it can be fixed. Sort of.
Yeah, mine's got a couple keys that don't work. Makes typing in passwords really difficult.
And then I also got from my aunt a mid 2009 MacBook Pro that runs macOS El Capitan. It has a 500 gigabyte hard drive in it and 4 gigabytes of RAM currently. Of course, I'm upgrading the hard drive to an SSD, and I'll be putting
Of
at
course.
least 8 gigabytes of RAM in it. However, that won't be for quite a while because I'm currently just saving up for an Apple Watch Ultra.
So what was that you unboxed then?
That was my mom's.
Oh.
And my mom gave her old Series 6 to my aunt, so...
Well, I guess you don't need it considering that you're still trying to go for the Ultra.
Yeah, my Apple Watch is actually the only piece of tech that has been my daily driver all year. Oh, my phone, I got a new phone. I got a new iPad. I got a new phone back in November. I got a new iPad back in May. And I got 2 new computers. And I upgraded computers twice this year. I upgraded from my ThinkPad to my 2014 MacBook Air back in February. And then to my 2019 MacBook Pro in March. I got new AirPods in December. Upgraded from my AirPods Pro 1 to my AirPods Pro 2. And I've kept this the same Apple Watch for 2 years, which wow, I've owned this Apple Watch for so long because my voice wasn't even deep yet when I first got this Apple Watch. In fact, I was still on my first year of middle school, and now I'm almost graduating Now I'm graduating middle school in May.
Yep.
And considering it won't be very long before I'll be able to drive with a permit, then that would have been how long I would have kept this Apple Watch. So, and it's gotten pretty beat up. So it's also just old, and its battery life isn't too great anymore. So, and its battery health has dropped from 90% in September to now 87%. So yeah, I'll be saving up for a new Apple Watch, and then afterwards for my financial plan is to restore my white MacBook, early 2009 white MacBook because it really needs it. It was my first Mac. And then my plan will be to upgrade my 2009 MacBook Pro. And my plan is to compare my 2009 to my 2010 to see whether upgrading a MacBook Pro's RAM and hard drive is worth it or not.
Yeah, I'm still toying with the idea of building the Mac Mini server. I got an extra Christmas bonus from the church, so.
You got
Then
what?
again, I might just put that toward. I got a Christmas bonus from the church.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so I took a look at what I got paid today, and let's just say I did not expect to see what came in my inbox.
Yeah, yeah, I could build a Mac Mini server if I want to. However, I don't really have a lot of need for a server right now. So once I start my tech company, if I do, then I'll probably need a server. But for now, I don't need a server.
Yeah, for me at this point, I'm just trying to save up so I can get rid of my car and get a new one.
Yeah,
At least she's drivable.
I will not buy a car as old as yours.
Yeah, don't. Seriously, don't.
Oh, and later this year in 2023, which is probably the year that this is going to be coming out. I'm recording this on December 30th. I'll have to save up for a new MacBook because my 16-inch 2019 MacBook Pro is becoming more and more obsolete with Apple rushing to kill all Intel Macs.
So you're going to get the same type of laptop I've got, or what are you going to? What are you planning on replacing it with?
I'm probably going to get the M2 Pro version. Maybe I might go 14-inch just to save a little money, though I'm considering maybe going 16-inch.
Well, if you need my recommendation, you'll know exactly what I'll recommend.
I'll probably go 16-inch.
Well, here's another way to look at it too. This is supposed to be the main working machine, right?
Yeah.
And do you plug it into like an external monitor or something?
Nope.
Yeah, definitely get the biggest screen.
Yeah, because for other things, for normal tasks, then I can honestly because for normal, yeah, I don't plug it into an external monitor, and even doing school, and I don't want to tell you how doing schoolwork is on my 11-inch 2014 MacBook Air.
Yeah, I don't think it'd be fun.
It was actually not fun to hop back and forth between sources, so it was so fun. So it was such a relief when I could find sources to look up stuff that I needed to write school papers or just refer back to the curriculum more specifically. So I'm sure glad that once I got my 2019 MacBook Pro, I could use Sidecar with my iPad, even though I would only need that for a couple of months since now I'm not even in online school anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I still appreciate it. I don't have an iPad to do Sidecar with, but any chance I can get to extend my display, I always appreciate it.
Yeah, and especially for my podcast, oh boy, the 60-inch display is really necessary.
Yeah, I currently don't have my MacBook hooked up to my other monitors because they are, at the moment, right over my keyboard. So, yeah, I got everything crammed onto a 16-inch display, and let's just say it's functional but not enjoyable.
Same here. That's why I'll probably have to go 16-inch. So that'll be the big thing I'll be saving up for this year is a new MacBook Pro, which will be fun because my guess is that the 2019 MacBook Pro is going to get its support dropped in 2024, which will mean that afterwards there will be no patchers, and I'm not running a patcher on my main computer anyways.
Mm-hmm. Well, we'll find out. Well, one thing I'll just say though is don't be in too much of a rush because if the computer's still working fine just now, don't be in too much of a rush to replace it.
Yeah, that's why I'm gonna wait until way later this year because I still have other stuff I need to buy. I need to buy first.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I am trying to figure out what the heck I'm going to purchase next. It's most likely going to be a car because at this point, I'm looking at my tech ecosystem as it is right now, and I just can't really complain anymore. I've
Yeah,
got two great phones, great cameras. One's my absolute favorite in terms of design. One has a more practical camera, I will admit that, but in terms of daily phones, I still prefer the XS Max. But yeah, still great phones. My laptop is perfect. At this point, I don't even want a desktop anymore because all I need to do is just plug in my external monitors. Good to go. The watch to me is basically just a fashion accessory. I'm finally happy with my sound products, be it my AirPods Max or yeah, my AirPods Pro 2 still have that crackling issue whenever there's a loud noise, but
and your HomePod Mini.
oh yeah, that's great too. I use it all the time. I've actually had to replace my alarm clock because I can't connect any of my devices to it anymore. Therefore, the only thing that works is the annoying beeping sound.
Yeah. How come? Yeah, I'm guessing because your iPod Touch battery expanded, your iPhones are too big, and because your iPod Nano.
Actually, I tried to plug in my one of my iPhones to sync the time backup because the time isn't always on sync with all my other clocks. But it turns out the built-in Lightning port is dead.
Ooh.
So, yeah.
So it expanded the battery, killed the battery on your iPod Touch, and then it died.
Yeah, so at this point, I've basically been using the HomePod Mini as an alarm clock, which actually works pretty well. I like it a lot.
I use my iPhone 14 Pro as my alarm clock.
And what's nice about where I have my HomePod Mini positioned, it's on my desk, which is on the other side of my room compared to where I sleep. So if I want to shut it off, I have to get out of bed and tap it myself. It forces me to get out of bed. Because if I'm not forced to get out of bed, I will sleep in until like noon or something.
I've gotten pretty used to waking up at 9:30 every day. I don't have school, and it most of the time feels fine. And however, waking up at 6:30, which is what I have to do for school, oh boy, that is so hard for me to get out of bed.
Yeah, what sucks though is I can't. I'm trying to balance between doing my stuff early in the morning and also late at night, except now it's shifted so much to late at night to the point where I'm sleeping in the morning so much. I'm up to like 1 in the morning doing stuff.
Luckily, I don't have that issue because I don't have that much stuff to do. As most of the stuff I do at school is done at school, so I hardly ever have any homework, and I'm trying to make it illegal to assign before I get to high school, so that way I won't have any homework there either.
Yeah, so me, I got that job I have to go to, make money, pay bills.
I have a job that I have to do too, so that way I can pay for my devices.
Yeah, something tells me I might not actually be moving out as soon as I wanted.
How come?
Financial reasons, and I keep looking around for places to either purchase or rent, and it is just not a good time to be a buyer or a renter.
That's weird because around me, it's actually a pretty good play time.
Yeah, I'm just taking a look at the rents of different apartments and houses, and it's like $1,400 a month. That's really expensive for rent.
And so I'm guessing you're just gonna
Now,
wait until you can get out of Michigan.
probably it's either that or I'm going to wait for the price of housing to go down or something because like all the different renting options, it's $1,400. That's the cheapest I can find for something that I can actually work with. I need a garage because, well, A, I am so tired of brushing my car off, and B, I also plan on filming in there. So I need a garage. Um, and I don't need too big. I don't need too many rooms. I don't need necessarily the biggest living space. So a small apartment with small living room, small kitchen, maybe a couple of bedrooms, along with the garage, it's like $1,400. At that point, I'm probably better off just paying a mortgage for and buying a house and paying a mortgage at that rate. But then that doesn't include electricity, um, because basically there aren't really any houses out for sale here in the rural areas. I have to move to the slightly more urban section of where I live, and that means got to pay for water as well. And of course, the thing I hate about Michigan, and especially the area where I live, we have the most expensive electric rates in the entire nation. There's just no pros to moving out at this point.
Yeah, luckily I don't have to worry about moving out. Yeah, since the United States government says I have, apparently, and my parents say I apparently have to live with my parents for at least 5 more years, because I won't be graduating high school until 2027. Or wait a minute, that's 4.
Yeah, I was going to say that'd be more like 4 years. Usually, once you're a legal adult, you get the ability to move out, not be subjected to whatever your parents want you to do.
Yep, that'll be awesome. However, right now I can't exactly. Right now, as far as I'm concerned, I still have to go to school, which is very, very fun, as you know.
Oh yeah, I'm so glad I'm done with it.
I'm not, and I'll be so glad the day I graduate high school. I can be done with it at least, and, yeah, unless I go to college or something. No, I'm not sure if I'll be doing that yet.
Well, then there's another thing too. Where the heck am I going to go? I still haven't decided.
Yeah, I probably won't be moving too far away from where I currently live, mostly because I actually like it where I live.
Yeah, you do not want to live up here. It sucks.
Maybe I will move to Michigan because you say I shouldn't move there.
Yeah, have fun dealing with 4-foot blizzards and crappy roads that the government refuses to fix.
That was an obvious
Expensive
joke. I'm not moving
electricity.
up to Michigan.
Yeah.
Luckily, down here in my state, they're always fixing the roads, always to the point where we can't even use them without being under construction.
Yeah. Oh yeah, speaking of which, something I just thought of. Apple Maps satellite view. It drives me nuts.
I like it.
I don't. And it's because they only pay attention to the popular cities.
Oh yeah, that drives me so much nuts. I can't.
Do you want to know how old the satellite map that they have for my area is?
How old?
At least 5 years old.
Have you checked? How old is the Google Maps captures in comparison?
They updated it this summer.
They updated my Google Maps captures in my area last spring and summer. Let me check Apple Maps now. Not going to share the screen for obvious reasons.
Yeah, for me though, I checked. It captured a scene that was going on at my house that happened 5 years ago. Oh, and then some buildings also don't even exist yet. It drives me nuts. Oh yeah, some roads don't even exist.
I know, some roads have just been built recently.
Come on, Apple. Stop giving all the love to the cities. Where's our love?
It's non-existent.
No.
Okay, I'm trying to zoom in on my house here. Okay, okay, this is what I can tell. There's the background, the track. It was summer, obviously, and the background and the backyard track. The backyard track was there, indicating that it was at least after July 2019. The driveway was still gravel, meaning that was probably August 2022, or that was between July 2019 or August 2022, because we recently had it replaced with a concrete one.
So yeah, my satellite map is still way older than that.
Let me go see. Hang on, I'm not in as remote of an area.
I also checked Marquette, which is one of the biggest cities in the UP, and Marquette has had some roundabouts for the past 2 years. Those aren't even in yet. Not on the satellite view.
Oh, okay. So some houses that just got okay, so this was probably summer of 2021. As I'm finding out, because there were some houses in my neighborhood that were just being built at that point.
Yeah, my map's from like 5 years ago. This is stupid. I hate it. I try to search for something and get an idea. Okay, what is the parking lot like? What are some landmarks I can look for? And yet this is a 5-year-old map. That is not accurate.
Oh my gosh, my MacBook's fans are going, in case you can hear that. But Google Maps hasn't visited my street since September of 2013.
Oh yeah, they haven't visited my street since around that time or something. They don't really update their street views that often, but
yes, which is
yeah,
so annoying because
I
a lot
know
has changed.
these things change
with my house. My house has sure changed a lot since 2013. At that point, our family still had our old Chrysler 300, and my dad still had his F-150 at that point.
Yeah, I think I saw. No, it couldn't have been the old Lumina. I haven't seen that car in how many years?
Wait a minute, is it older than you think?
I gotta check again. Maps. Oh no, not Apple. I want Google. Oh, I guess Apple has a website for Apple Maps. Didn't know that. Maps.google.com. There, let's try that. Yeah, did not know Apple Maps was actually a website you could visit. All right, satellite. Where's my house? There it is. Yeah, these maps are totally up to date with their satellite imagery until we go to Street View. Let's drop myself right there. Oh, I'm facing south. There we go. My house has a porch. What's that? Huh. Wait a sec. Wait a second. Holy crap, we weren't even moved in yet.
So is that 2007?
That's a for sale sign. That's how old the Street View is. That's a for sale sign. We haven't even moved in yet. I know from the looks of it, this image is from before we had just moved in.
It actually tells you on Google Maps how old it is.
Oh my gosh, this is a month before we moved in.
What month was that image taken?
September.
September of what year?
2008, September 2008. That was a month before we moved in here.
Wow. I was just a baby.
My sister wasn't even
I
born
was
yet.
6 months old.
I was still an only child.
Yeah. Wow, you were... Yeah, I've been an only child my entire life.
Wow, I did not know this street view was that old. Interesting.
I'm actually gonna check if Apple Maps has some sort of their version of Street View on my street.
They don't on my street. I know that for a fact. Cause, oh yeah, they don't care about where I live. They only care about the big cities.
Yep, they don't on my street.
Yeah, that
But yeah, it
sucks.
just goes to show you how frequently Google visits my street, because back in 2013, for example, with me, the iPhone 5S just launched. That's how old it is.
Yeah, what's funny is, let me...
I was
How
in
do I exit
preschool.
Street View? Ah, right there, exit Street View. Alright. If I recall, where's that section where there's road work? I don't need to see my church. Yep, that satellite map is totally up to date in terms of road work. Or, well, where it used to be. Because that definitely happened this summer. Alright, let's try the street view. Okay, so this was before the road work started. Unless I... What happens if I go over here? I thought there was a point... Oh, yep, there it is. There's the cones. There's the barriers. So they had just come down through that area this summer. But of course they didn't drive by my house because who cares? No, nobody does. Oh, that is interesting.
Yeah, they visit my actual city now a little more often than they used to, but of course they don't go down my street because they don't care. Yet the two streets that right beside me, they visited recently.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it goes to shows they need to do a better job at if they really want to show what the area is like, then they're going to have to do a better job at updating their representation of these areas, especially Apple, because they are the worst for looking for landmarks unless you're looking for business names.
Yep.
It's still September 2008. We had not even moved in yet.
Yeah. I've lived in my same house. I've lived in my same house since I was for almost my entire life.
I used to live on the border.
What border?
Lived on the border of Michigan and Wisconsin. In fact, a lot of people would assume I was born in Michigan because I basically have lived in Michigan my entire life. That is not true.
I wasn't actually born in the state I live in either.
I was born in Wisconsin because we were right on the border of Michigan and Wisconsin, and the hospital happened to have been on the Wisconsin side of the border. So that's where I went, and that's where I was born.
on the first Google Maps capture of my street, there's actually a photo of my mom walking out of my house back when she was pregnant with me.
That's an interesting image to have
Yeah,
captured for Street View.
When I was like 5, I discovered that on my iPad 1, which had Google Maps built in. And my dad still recalls that.
All right, one last thing to wrap up before we wrap up the podcast that I actually just thought of. How would you rate the products that Apple has released this year?
I think... Okay, the iPhone... can I give them, like, letter grades?
Sure, go for it.
iPhone 14 Pro, A. iPhone 14 Pro Max, A. iPhone 14 Plus is a C. iPhone 14 is a C. iPad 10 is a... iPad 10, I would actually say, is a B.
That high?
Yep. iPad Air 5, that's an excellent iPad, that's an A. iPad Pro M2, that's a pretty good stable upgrade too, so it was a bit disappointing, however, so I'm going to call that a B. The M2 MacBook Pro, I'm going to give that an A because it's awesome. M2 MacBook Air, B, because whilst it has a cool design, it overheats. Mac Studio, that's an A, it's excellent. Green iPhone 13 Pro and 13. F, because they shouldn't have waited. iPhone SE 3. I would give it a C because it still has bezels. Apple Watch SE 2. B, because whilst it was a bit disappointing, it did bring overall some stable upgrades, and it was just a good refinement. Apple Watch Series 8, I'm gonna give that a B because it restricts the temperature sensor to women only. Apple Watch,
yeah, that is so sad and disappointing.
Apple Watch Ultra, I'm again gonna give a B because of the temperature sensor thing. Do you agree with my list?
Actually, I have a lot more lower letter grades to give, to be honest. So
I know you especially disagreed with my iPad 10.
Yeah, well, let me start from the beginning. iPhone SE 3, I have to give it, what's the lowest letter grade we're going to give it?
F.
F. It's got to be F. It did not, I think it got refreshed way too soon, all for the purpose of adding technology that actually is inferior to the previous technology, aka 5G.
Even Mr. Who's the Boss is now noting how stupid it is.
Marquez himself admitted it too. It's so stupid. So yeah, SE3, I gotta give it an F. Oh, and it got a price increase.
Yep.
I can't give it any higher. I just can't. It deserves its F tier. What's next? iPad Air. Is it 5?
Yeah.
You know what? I'm going to give that an A. That's a pretty good iPad.
Solid upgrade.
Yeah, very solid. I mean, the previous one was already solid before it, but this latest update brought the center stage feature, I believe a slightly faster USB-C port, and let's not forget the crazy stupid chip that I don't think any of us saw coming to it.
And the only con is that the iPad Air 5 still doesn't have flash.
Yeah, that's a bit
kind of stupid on iPads anyway.
Yeah, so yeah, I think I'll give it an A tier. That was a pretty good surprise upgrade to see. I did not expect the M1 to get into it. Studio display.
Oh, that's...
that's another one. Studio display, I'm going to give it D. It's not a trash panel, but it's way too pricey for what it's offering. Especially considering how old the technology it's using really is.
I would give. Oh, it's getting an F for me. It's getting a D for me too.
Yeah.
D minus.
It's so expensive that for what technology it is, it's not bad, but it's just old and the price is not reflecting it
Tabby
properly.
actually bought one, so maybe he can. So maybe he would have something to say about that.
Yeah, but for me, it's got to be D tier. It's
because he likes color correction.
It's too much money. It's way too much money. The Mac Studio itself, I'm actually going to give it a B. It does technically push the limits of where the Mac has ever been, but the problem is we've actually discovered a lot of limitations to what, in terms of how Apple achieved it. Sure, they got so many cores and such, but they discovered there's a ton of limitations to it, and there's actually not much advantage to just slapping more cores in the system. So I'm actually going to give it a B. All right, after that, we have the June event. That's how I basically memorized what products came out. June event, we've got 2 hardware products, I believe. Touch Bar MacBook Pro, as much as I love the Touch Bar, I'm sorry, it's got to be F. It does not deserve to stay in the lineup.
Yes, it does.
No, it doesn't.
It needs a. You need the fan for more to. The fan allows you to unlock the M2's full performance.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does, because it
still
you don't have to worry
overheats.
about getting as hot with a fan, so as you can push it to more professional tasks. Tabby Bears and I have already gone through this.
But it still has some older technologies, like an older display. Still has that crappy 720p webcam. It's still got a lot of older technologies.
It does, but it's still pretty good. It's still pretty good in my books. And Mr. Maniac has one, or I'm sorry, Apple Maniac YT. He has one, and he loves it.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I can't rate it higher. It doesn't deserve to exist.
Maybe Apple Maniac YT, who actually uses one every day, can convince you otherwise.
I don't see where it stacks up in the lineup. So
it stacks up as a pro. It stacks up as a pro. It stacks up as a laptop for those who it's a mid-range laptop.
Yeah, and if actual professionals really wanted a laptop for doing professional things, that's what the 14 and 16-inch MacBook Pros are for.
No, you can do professional things on the M2 MacBook Pro too.
By the time you spec it to actually do those professional things, you get pretty dang close to the price of the 14 and 16-inch.
No, you can do professional things with its $1,300 base price.
With 256 gig SSD?
That's okay.
That's not a lot.
I can easily work with that.
I can't. I am struggling to work with a terabyte in my laptop.
I barely use the terabyte in my laptop.
It just doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't. All right. Anywho, what's next? The M2 MacBook Air. I think it could have been better in some areas, but for the market it's supposed to serve, I think I'm going to give it a C. Because I'd still recommend the M1 MacBook Air. Jeez, I cannot English. I'd still recommend the M1 MacBook Air to most consumers because even today, the M1 chip is just stupid overkill for most everyday tasks.
It actually isn't, but again, I've never used an Apple Silicon Mac.
For the people who are buying it, yeah, it's overkill.
No, it's actually just right. Actually, yeah, you're right. It's overkill.
So yeah, I'm going to give the M2 MacBook Air a C, primarily because the thermals, they do get a bit annoying.
That's what the M2 MacBook Pro is for.
And if I recall, Max Tech managed to get that thing to overheat by doing the same stuff.
Yeah, but at least there's a fan to help cool the M2 MacBook Pro down.
Still, I just can't afford it anymore. It doesn't make sense.
Maybe we should
All
make
right.
a separate podcast clip about the M2 MacBook Pro argument.
We might have to. Anywho, we're trying to wrap this up here. So, what's next? The September event, and I think that's the last event, actually. If I recall, weren't the leakers reporting Apple's going to release more products than they ever have this year?
Yep.
Wow, that's a lot of products. Anywho, yeah, the September event. We got...
Oh, AirPods Pro 2, that's a B because of the crackling.
AirPods Pro 2. Oh, geez, that's a tough one because the upgrades they were given are so good. Other than the crackling, yeah. Well, we haven't put anything in S tier yet, so...
That's because what Apple
S tier, it has to be perfect.
What goes in S tier? What goes...
I'm still going to put AirPods Pro 2 in A tier because...
Yeah.
For an audiophile like me and for someone who needed them anyways, I appreciate the updates that were given to it, and I'm an audiophile, so I do appreciate the extra sound quality. So, yeah, of course, I'm going to put it in A tier. What's next?
I'm trying to think of something to put... Oh, S tier. I think that's where the new Apple TV goes.
Oh, yeah, they did come out with that. But anywho, still on the September event. What was next? The Apple Watches. Apple Watch SE. I'll give it B tier. Didn't get that many exciting upgrades, but hey, they finally killed the Series 3 for Thanksgiving. Thank goodness. Yeah, they finally killed the Series 3.
A few of my classmates have Apple Watch Series 3s, and I wonder if they actually knew how old it was, or if they just bought it because Apple kept selling it for too long. And
Probably that.
A decent watch.
Yeah. So the fact alone that they killed the Series 3, that event deserves to be an S tier.
Yes, they killed the Series 3, finally.
Right. But yeah, the SE, I'll put it in B tier. Series 8, I'm going to put it in F tier. There's not really anything exciting about that watch at all.
There's car crash detection.
Okay, fine, E tier. I'll give it credit for that.
There's no E tier. The next is D tier.
All right, D tier, whatever.
That's actually what Tabby gave the iPhone XS and XS, put the XS and XS Max in when he did an iPhone tier list.
All right. And then the Ultra, I'll give that an A tier. I did not expect they were going to price it at what they did, and that was a good price.
I still wish they called it the Apple Watch Pro. That just makes so much more sense. Or the Apple Watch Series 8 Pro.
I personally don't care what they call it, but I'm glad they didn't call it like Rugged Edition. That was bad. That would have been bad if they called it that.
That's a Samsung type of thing.
Yeah, so. Yeah, Apple Watch Ultra, I'll give it an A tier. And then after that, 14s. iPhone 14, D tier. 14 Plus, I really wish I could put it a step higher, but due to how not different the 14 Plus is compared to... Considering how the 14s are so similar to the 13s in the first place, that and the 14 Plus is just so priced so close to the 14 Pros.
F.
I probably have to give it the same rating as... What did I rate the 14? D tier?
D.
I think.
What about rating the 14? What about rating the 14 Plus G?
The what?
G, like that's worse than F.
No, I wouldn't give it that low of a rating.
Yeah,
But
also
still,
yeah. Yeah, 14
it was
plus
not.
isn't that bad. Also, we're supposed to stick with traditional
Yeah,
grades,
so
and G technically indicates good, so
hmm yeah, I'm gonna give a D tier. It didn't do much to deserve higher up, which is kind of sad for an iPhone, especially. All right, the pros. I'll give the regular 14 Pro and the Pro Max. You know what? They both deserve the same rating as well. They got some solid upgrades, but they also got a very solid downgrade.
they did not get a downgrade.
I'm sorry, I do not view that pill hole as an upgrade. I view it as a
Yes,
downgrade.
it is an upgrade, Alpha. It looks so much better than that stupid notch.
No, it doesn't.
Well, the 120 hertz of the 14 Pro, which I'm finally getting to experience since I finally turned off reduced motion after realizing that it was on.
But the 13 Pro has it too.
Well, still, the good display of the 14 Pro makes you forget the dynamic island.
I'm sorry, but I care a lot more about aesthetics as well. Not only do you have to make it function well, but you also have to make it look good. And
However,
I'm sorry, the
I
pill hole does
absolutely
not
hate
make
the
it work.
dynamic island in terms of functionality. I think it's so stupid the way it functions.
I'm debating, do I put it in D or C?
The what?
The 14 Pros, both the Pro and the Pro Max.
Oh no, they're A tier products.
No.
Put them in C tier then.
All right, fine, C tier. Yeah, they got some decent camera upgrades, especially considering the 48 megapixel sensor, but
However, I haven't figured out how to get the 8K video working on my 14 Pro.
to my knowledge, that's because it doesn't have it.
I thought it did.
That's not what I've heard.
Wait a minute, I said that in my review that the Apple didn't manage to get 8K working.
Can the iPhone 14 Pro record in 8K? Maximum resolution, in terms of video that the iPhone 14 can record, is still limited to 4K 60.
Come on, why do I want 8K video so badly, even though I know it's so impractical?
Nobody cares. In fact, a lot of people struggle to tell the difference between 1080p and 4K in the first place. So, no, it doesn't have 8K recording. Sorry. Then again, who cares? Seriously.
Even Tabby Pairs doesn't really like 8K recording.
4K is enough for me.
Yeah, Tabby
I don't
actually
know what would
tried it
happen
on
if I
his
tried
S21,
8K.
and it took up like 100 gigabytes of storage just for basic 8K video.
Oh, geez. Yeah, I'd probably instantly run out of storage once I try to put that in a Final Cut timeline.
Yeah, then they would have to make a 2 ter. They would probably have to make a 2 terabyte iPhone
Yeah.
14 Pro, iPhone 14 Pro Max if they add 4K. Because if very few people are even struggling with 1 terabyte, like Austin from Elite Obsolete Electronics, and his 1 terabyte 14 Pro Max. I'm not sure which one he has now.
All right, then finally we have the Apple TV and the iPad. So Apple TV, I'm going to give it... You know what? Yeah, A tier actually makes sense. It got a price reduction, which it seriously needed. And the remote got USB-C. Double the storage as well for both price tiers. Yeah, I think it deserves A tier. And then the iPads, iPad 10, I have to give it F tier. I'm sorry. It does not serve the market well for for $450. It's too much for that iPad 10. I'm sorry.
It's a solid iPad though.
Yeah, but for $450, that and it's so close to the iPad mini, which, yeah, okay, it might be smaller, but it's got way better features for an extra $50.
Wait a minute. Did I just hear you say that there's a smaller device that's better value? But
Personally, I really think that's the
go big
case.
screen or go home.
I actually like the iPad mini, but it's not for me. I can like things that are not for me.
That's true. It's like with my Apple. That's like why I put the Apple TV 2022 Apple TV in the S tier, because even though I probably won't be buying one, or I might, it's still pretty. It's still, there's nothing wrong with the Apple 2022 Apple TV. It's perfect.
But yeah, just because I'm big screen everything, don't go thinking I just hate the iPad mini or the mini iPhone series that came out. I mean, the 12 mini was questionable for me because of the battery life, but the 13 mini fixed it. And
you actually even considered getting a 13 mini a few months ago.
Yeah, primarily because I needed something to act as a pocketable microphone or pocketable voice recorder or something. So yeah, just because I'm more big screen everything and will always be big screen everything, that doesn't mean I don't like small screen products. But if you are going to make a small screen product, make it good. And iPad mini is good.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
and for $50 more than the iPad 10, I'm sorry, I would recommend you just get an iPad mini over the iPad 10.
Same here. In fact, I think the iPad mini should just be the base iPad.
Same here.
Because
yeah, iPad 10, I gotta give it F tier.
Just like how a bigger, the Apple should simply just charge more for bigger screens. Hence why the 15-inch MacBook Air, which is gonna come sometime, which is coming, should not actually be coming.
I think that 15-inch MacBook Air, or whatever they call it, that 15-inch lower-end laptop is going to sell like hotcakes. Assuming that people actually want to spend money on laptops right now.
It'll be sad to see it sell, but it probably will sell, though it just doesn't make...
You're kidding me? It'll be glorious.
More Apple's going to have to discontinue the 14-inch MacBook Pro then if they make that.
Actually, no. They'd have to discontinue the 13-inch MacBook Pro.
They'd have to discontinue both.
Not the 14-inch MacBook Pro.
Nope. They would have to in order for it to make sense, because people are still going to upgrade for the bigger screen. So hence if they just kept the 16-inch MacBook Pro around instead, because really the 60-inch display is best for pros anyway. Or if they finally made a 17 or 18-inch MacBook Pro, like I really want.
Oh my goodness.
I would love that too. I'm considering buying an old 17-inch Unibuy MacBook Pro for my collection just because of that large screen.
I couldn't, because I couldn't use it, and B, I got way more important things to save up for.
Yeah. Again, you know how I like to collect a lot of old tech.
All right, and last up, the iPad Pro, the M2. This might be questionable to some, but I'm also going to give it F tier.
You know it's a B tier Pro. Tabby. If Tabby Pears were in this podcast right now, I think he would I think he would strongly disagree with you, because he actually has.
Well, this future proofing thing that everyone likes to talk about. Yeah. How are the older generation iPads not future-proofed at this point? They're still so good.
They are still so good, however, every little
and they're getting cheaper.
Helps, and besides, it helps to build off of something that's already good.
Still, I couldn't even tell myself to buy the M2 iPad.
It's still not... Excuse me, something just fell in my room. But it still deserves to be B tier in my opinion, though. I guess
What
we'll
makes
always
it B
disagree
tier?
about that.
What makes it B tier? The only thing it got was the M2 chip and this new hover feature with the Apple Pencil.
That's even funny enough. My Samsung Galaxy Note 3 has that hover feature too.
It's a gimmick. It's not important though.
I know. That's why I'm only giving it a B tier.
I'm just giving it F because it's not that exciting of. Well, I
However,
mean,
it's
yeah,
still
what can they
solid,
do to
so that's
upgrade
why
this
I'm
thing?
giving it a B, though. Again, I value solidity. However, there's still some more Christmas presents that I forgot to mention, such as my gold iPhone 6s that I have the box for, which my parents gave me. And
Oh yeah, I think I saw
worst
you
battery
that
life
up
in
on
my
your shelf.
collection. Huh?
I thought I saw the box on your shelf.
Yeah, and oh yeah, this is an Apple product that this is probably the rarest one that I got. This is the rare one, and it's pretty special. Afterwards, we can close the podcast because I'm.
Another OG iPhone?
Yep, this one is near perfect though.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I think I have too many of those too. However, this one doesn't have a back cover that's falling off. It's in very good condition on the front. And it's also all came pre-running running iOS 1.0 to start with, which means I don't have to go through the pains of downgrading it. And it does have a few dead pixels on the screen, however, and a gray battery, but look, the camera on it actually works.
Oh, jeez.
Unlike my other two 2Gs. It does have some dead pixels, which I don't know if you can see that very well.
Nah,
And
the
it's
internet
something
connection's
I know
not good
Apple
enough for
Gecko
that.
would be interested in. As you can tell, if you look at the modem firmware, which I have to blur all this out. But as you can tell right here, this is the modem firmware that indicates that is not from iOS 2, meaning that this phone was never downgraded. It was just never updated.
Wow, what a relic.
iOS 1.0, they have a modem number from iOS 2.
Yeah, that's a relic.
Yep, this is probably the best Christmas present. Oh, and I also got the iPad's keyboard or folio for Christmas, and I got a water pick, which is pretty handy. That was and I also got a nice blue polo t-shirt, and also from my grandmother I got slippers, earmuffs, and a shirt for my local football team, which I'm not going to say what it is.
Oh, I forgot 2 other Christmas presents that I actually bought myself. Because I wanted to treat myself because I'm so old, I don't get many Christmas gifts anymore. One sec.
I have to put my 2G up anyway.
I am so surprised that I found these on their respective website because they usually sell out extremely fast. Well, one of them does at least. I've posted shorts on the Drive channel about this already, but
I know.
here's my Tesla 1:18 scale diecast Model 3.
My grandfather used to collect model cars like that, and my grandmother, after he died, kept sealed one of those, and when I was 7, I actually opened the box for one of those and broke the box, and I got in big trouble.
What's special about this Model 3 is this is literally spec'd the way I would spec mine. Blue exterior, sport wheels, white interior. The door's even open too.
Yeah, I've seen some model cars where the doors open, and I always love it when they do that.
They paid so much attention to so many details in here. Like the seat belts, they're actually little fabric pieces.
Oh, wow.
The steering wheel actually turns. Yeah, they paid so much attention to detail in this thing. So, that's one. And then the other one, which is way harder to get because basically every time you see it appear on the website for a quick second, it instantly disappears the second you refresh it. So I'm surprised I managed to get this. It's a Tesla battery bank.
I think you did an unboxing of that too.
Yeah, these are really hard to get. They sell out so fast. And what I like about this is not only does it unfortunately still have the inferior standard, however, I can ignore that because on the other end is the superior standard. Yeah, it comes with this cable that wraps around the entire battery bank, and to store it, you actually
I like
plug
power
it in.
banks that do that. They're very handy.
Oh, and this wirelessly charges too.
Awesome. We know how much you love wireless charging.
Oh yeah, that is exactly how I plan on charging my iPhones once I eventually go back on another camping trip to DC. Cannot wait for that.
Guessing you're doing that this summer.
Yep, supervising a trip this time.
Ooh, that'll be nice.
Yep. And of course, because I'm going back to DC, I'll make another travel vlog. I love traveling so much. I really wish I was
even
not
though I
stuck
don't
here.
travel very often.
Once I get that Tesla and as well as some finances, I'm just going to be roaming the interstates for so long.
What about your job?
I'm hoping to switch it from my current job to YouTube. It's just, well, subscribers have been slowing as of recent.
Yeah, that's why I like it. Really until 2022, subscribers have not just constantly kept growing. And now luckily they are growing consistently growing to where I'm gonna hit 1,000 sometime in 2023, which I'm super excited
I'm just grateful
for.
I finally passed 100 subscribers on 2 channels.
That's an important milestone, and I've still only passed 100 subscribers on one of my YouTube channels.
Yeah, well, keep in mind I have 7 to manage.
I have 4 technically.
I guess I could consider my personal channel that I used to watch others as an 8, and I've actually uploaded one video that I've actually shared. It's unlisted because I don't want it to be known as the channel where you're going to find everything, but it's an unlisted video. That Christmas one, did you see it?
I saw a link of it, though I didn't watch it.
Oh, that was a music production I made.
That's cool. Speaking of today, I've not only made a podcast, but I also made my iPhone collection video.
I noticed. I didn't watch it yet because I'm so focused on trying to do other jobs. So,
That was a lot. That was a lot of hard work.
Yeah, I bet it's a challenge.
Though it's not as hard as doing a whole Apple collection video.
Oh, wait. Does this thing have 2 wireless charging pads? Oh, this battery bank might have 2 charging pads.
You can charge both your phone and your AirPods at the same time.
Because I recalled one of Tesla's advertising points is you can set this on the wireless charger in the car. And the face that they've put it on was the bottom face, not the top. This might actually have 2. Huh. I love this thing. For $75, that was one of the best products I ever bought.
Wow, I was surprised that was that cheap. I'm surprised that's that cheap. Oh, well,
Yeah, these things sell out so quick. It's mad.
Tesla has a very strong cult following, and yet a strong cult following for enemies, too.
Yeah. Good thing I have this cool ability where I don't usually associate the people who run the companies with the actual product.
Neither do
Because
I.
I do not like Tim Cook. I do not. Well,
I'm
there's a
not-
bit
I don't
about
like
Elon
Tim
that I
Cook
like,
either.
there's a bit about Elon that I like, but there's a lot that I don't.
Same too.
So, yeah.
But
In
people
terms of
just
electric
don't
cars,
like the idea of electric cars.
yeah, my dad's one of those people. He's gonna
Yeah, my
shame
class-
me to
my
death until I
classmates
actually
are-
prove him wrong.
My classmates are also not very enthusiastic about Teslas. And instead, they're focused on some stupid sports car brand called Bugattis.
Yeah, good luck owning those. Meanwhile, oh yeah, if I recall, Tesla Model S Plaid, fastest production car you can buy today. Oh, and it's electric, everyone. That's right, the fastest production car you can buy. It's not a gas car. It's not this super expensive exotic sports car. It's a family sedan that's electric.
I'm
From
not
Tesla.
surprised. Electric motors are really capable.
Oh, you have to see them in action. Yeah, I've seen electric motors in action before.
Finally conclude this podcast episode.
Yep, that should be the last one for the year as of we're recording.
I'm guessing you'll be. Will you edit this, or do you want me to edit this?
Which do you prefer? This is your show.
I'd honestly prefer if you edited it.
All right.
I'll have my clip. No, I'm not gonna say that. I'll have my clip uploaded sometime in the near future, and as always, this is the iTunes, another episode of the iTunes Fanboy Podcast. Please check out our social media in the descriptions below. As always, I am Teddy from the iTunes Fanboy,
My name is Alpha DeWolf from the Random Alpha.
and we are signing out for now. Bye.
See ya.